From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network at Troy, Alabama's International University, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for March 1st, 2018. I'm Janae Jordan.
And I'm Sarah Drake. Thank you for joining us this evening. Wednesday, Troy students elected a new slate of officers to run Troy Student Government Association next school year. Let's take a look at the results. Gus McKenzie will be Troy's new president of the SGA. Vice President for Campus Activities is Morgan Long. Alex Reynolds was elected Vice President for Legislative Affairs. Abby Hamilton will serve as Director of Administration, and Morgan, too, will be the SGA's Director of Representation. The new president-elect is already working with the current president on the transition.
Very excited. Just trying to get my feet wet at this point. I'm trying to really fully understand how everything works. I sat down with Ashley for lunch today, and we thought it was going to be 30 minutes, and we talked for an hour and a half. So it's a lot more than I expected.
Will be sworn into office on April 24th.
A piece of military and African American history is located at Troy's Municipal Airport. A hangar once used by the Tuskegee Airmen now rests in Pike County, and now that piece of history has been officially recognized by the state of Alabama. Lauren Harkson has the details.
In 1941, history was made in the sky. Known as the Tuskegee Airmen, African American men paved the way for anyone with the dream of flight. On Wednesday afternoon, a historical marker was dedicated to them right here in Troy.
What a great day this is. We're dedicating an historical marker here at the Troy Airport to this hangar, which was originally a Tuskegee Airmen hangar that was at Tuskegee Army Airfield. After that famous training mission, the first African American pilots, this hangar was no longer needed. It was disassembled and reassembled here. And we're incredibly proud to have discovered this history and to be able to mark it today with this ceremony and this marker.
The marker doesn't only signify the planes the Tuskegee Airmen flew, but also the people and pioneers that they were.
We reflected credit upon the pioneers, as I refer to them, what they did, what they stood for, and how they rose from the bottom to the top. And everybody said, "You can't do this." And they said, "Yes, we can."
The Tuskegee Airmen were the first African-American pilots in history, and by using their passion of flying planes just like this one, they were able to make that history all across America, and Troy is signifying that with the hangar dedication. This marker has landed Troy a position on the Alabama Register of Landmarks and Heritage, which can ensure a peak of interest for visitors of Troy and Troy University.
This adds another reason why a student would be proud to enroll at Troy. It's a very significant place that you can come and celebrate. I just want our students to understand history. It was said many years ago, if you fail to remember the trials and tribulations of the past, you'll probably be forced to repeat them.
The marker unveiling ceremony took place on February 28th to recognize the closing celebration of Black History Month. Lauren Harkson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The hangar was moved to Troy from Tuskegee after the end of World War II in 1947.
The Troy for Troops Center opened its doors to military-affiliated students yesterday afternoon for a social event as a way to introduce what the facility has to offer. Anna Kate Patterson has the story.
Troy student U.S. military active servicemen, veterans, and dependents have been welcomed back to campus after Troy for Troops Welcome Back meet and greet Wednesday night.
My main goal is to let the veterans and the dependents know, and the active duty, National Guard, reservists, or even the RTC who are actively serving, know that we are here to help them and assist them.
The Student Veterans Association hosted the meet and greet with hopes that the attendants will spread the word of what all Troy for Troops has to offer.
We actually have a clothing closet to help them get dressed for success when they transition from college life to the civilian life for a job. We have a food pantry, so if they're struggling and they need assistance, they can come here and draw from the food pantry. And then we also do activities to get together. We also bring in a counselor. She comes in if you're qualified, and that's cost of nothing to them for free.
Reed is an Army veteran and medically retired after 15 years of service. She says the Troy for Troops Center aided in her transition from military into college life.
And I did have a hard transitioning from that life, and Troy for Troops Center helped me do it and do it with ease. And so that's why I enjoy coming here, and that's why I enjoy doing these events so other people know that. So when they come here, we can also do what the Troy for Troops did for me.
Troy for Troops is currently looking for volunteers to work its fun run on April 28th. Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Troy for Troops Center is located on the first floor of the Trojan Center next to Rico.
Troy University is known as Alabama's International University, and yesterday Trojan Outreach wanted to help students learn more about Troy's international side. Taylor Pollock has the story.
With around 1,000 international students representing over 72 countries at Troy University, there's an abundance of diversity and uniqueness. On Wednesday, Trojan Outreach hosted Burst Your Bubble to show off what makes Troy, and more importantly, its students, unique.
So our goals today is pretty much to show everyone how much cultural diversity there is on campus, but not only that, it's to show that it's more than where you're from. It's more about who you are, and we're more alike than we are different.
The event offered a mirror for students to search for what makes them unique, as well as a map to showcase their hometowns. And many students agree that being Alabama's international university is part of what makes Troy special.
Diversity is important because it shows we're all different, but yet we're all the same. We're all here at Troy. We are what makes Troy. And even though you may be from all these different places, we are what makes Troy.
Taylor Pollock, Troy TrojanVision News.
Next week, Trojan Outreach will be on the quad throughout the week with different spring break safety tips each day. Wednesday nights with the University Activities Council are usually filled with movies, games, and sometimes gambling.
However, last night things were a little more literary as UAC entertained with a little poetry. Lydia Williams has the story.
On Wednesday night, the University Activities Council held a poetry event in Crosby Theater featuring an Emmy Award-winning poet by the name of Ed Mabry.
I am currently a professionally touring performance artist. The majority of it is poetry. I also do comedy and motivational speaking. I'm the only 4-time individual World Poetry Slam champion.
Mabry came off the stage and interacted with the crowd by having the audience say a word, and he created a poem off of it. One student explained how they felt about it.
He did kind of like a showcase where he asked for words and he just kind of did something on the spot, which was really cool, and it was fun to see him work in action and do something like that. So that was heartfelt and genuine for him to give something that was just fresh off of his head. So I liked seeing that from him tonight.
Mabry talked about how his inspiration to become a poet came after a heartbreak.
I got my heart broken, and I wrote a really bad poem about it that was depressing because I wanted to make everyone feel as crappy as I was. Once that time frame passed, then I moved on and I had the urge to keep going, so I kept going.
The next UAC event will be $2 Movie Night, hosted on March 7th. Lydia Williams, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Once again, UAC's next event will be $2 Movie Night at the Continental Cinema in Troy.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello, and welcome to your TrojanVision Sports. I'm Antonio Reese. The Trojan baseball team welcomed UAB to Riddle Pace Wednesday night, but sent the Blazers back home with a loss. Sarah Drake has the story.
Coming off a loss from Florida State this weekend, the Trojan baseball team welcomed in the UAB Blazers to Riddle Pace Field for a midweek matchup on Wednesday. And while the Trojans trailed most of the game, they were able to come back and get the 3-2 win. And head coach Mark Smart says it's great to get back in the win column.
I thought we showed some toughness late in the contest. We pitched awfully well, and we got big hits at the right time, and that was a great to see. Come from behind late to get a 3-2 win. So I'm really proud of our team, especially coming off the 4-game losing streak and the road trips we had. So it's great to get back on the winning column and beat a really good UAB team tonight.
Down 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th, Matt Sanders found himself on third base and was brought home to tie the game as Joey Dennison hit his 9th RBI of the season. And Smart talks about how it came at just the right time.
Well, it was big at the time. You know, we're down 2-1, 2 outs. It takes a hit to score a guy, and he hit it hard. So that's a clutch hit that you hope to get from your senior, and it came at the right time, and then he stole the base to get himself in the scoring position.
The game-winning run came as Cole Prestegard brought Dennison across home plate, and Smart describes what happened on that play.
Well, Cole took advantage of the opportunity. Getting him to second base early in that bat allowed him to settle in. He got a good pitch to hit. He did a good job staying in the middle of the field to score the run, and so that was a really good stretch there. We had two critically important at-bats, and both guys came through in a big way.
Even though the team was able to rally together Wednesday night to get the 3-2 win against UAB, Coach Smart talks about the struggles with striking out, which may be an issue with the upcoming series against Tennessee Tech.
We were swinging at bad pitches. We didn't look comfortable with 2 strikes. We've got to improve that. If we continue to strike out at that rate, it's going to be a hard thing to score runs. Kids are going to strike out. That's part of baseball. But we were a little too easy to strike out tonight, and that's something we'll have to improve on. Tennessee Tech's really good. They can really score. They've scored 100 runs in 7 games to this point in the season. I've never seen that in my career. They're a really good offensive team, so we're going to have to pitch awfully well. I think it'll be a great series with 2 pretty good teams going at one another.
Troy will remain at home this weekend to host Tennessee Tech in a 3-game set. Sarah Drake, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
Up next, the Trojans welcome Tennessee Tech to Riddle Pace. First game in the 3-game series is at 6 Friday night. Bouncing things over to the men's court, the Trojan men's basketball team has only 2 games left in the season before the Sun Belt tournament and are looking to finish strong as they head to Atlanta to take on the Georgia State Panthers in Sun Belt Conference play. Assistant coach Ben Fletcher says that the team has to prepare for something that not many in the league do.
But Georgia State's different. They're a team that's going to play 40 minutes of zone, so we have to prepare for that, which most teams in our league don't do that, so you have to prepare for that. And then after that, you have to prepare for a totally different team in Georgia Southern who plays predominantly man-to-man, but they switch everything. So it's something that we've seen all year. The preparation for our league games are totally different game by game, so it'll be one of those approaches again this weekend.
The Trojans tip off against the Panthers at 6:15 p.m. The game will be broadcasted on the Troy Sports Radio Network. Passing to the women's court, the Trojan women's basketball team is wrapping up their 2017-2018 regular season as they face the Georgia State Panthers tonight in Atlanta and finish out the regular season on Saturday when they take on Georgia Southern in Statesboro. Currently 4th, the Trojans could finish as high as 3rd, and a pair of wins combined with a UT Arlington loss. The top 4 teams in the league received a first-round bye in next week's Sun Belt Conference tournament.